Hey, welcome everybody. This is Brandon here at Scourge of Vinyl. This is going to be my best of 2021 video. It's going to be a little bit different than I've done in years past, where I split it up into 2 videos, 10 albums per video, making up my top 20. I did do a top 20 this year. I've been posting it on my Instagram, which I'm just much more busier on. I don't use this YouTube account very much anymore, but a lot of people are still interested in these videos, so I decided I'd make one. I just didn't want to make it a traditional top 20 video, because looking around the interweb this year, I found a lot of similarities in a lot of the year-end lists that I was seeing. There's a lot of the same bands, a lot of the same albums. So I feel like, everything that you need to see is out there. You just got to look for it. And I'm just not. That's not what I'm in the business of here. Showing you what's popular. I wanna talk about bands that are, maybe not as well known, maybe not getting as much recognition, but are still very much deserving. So I've got 10 albums here. 5 that did not make my top 20 lists. Bands that I thought were good, that I wanted to give some shine. And then there are 5 albums that did make my top 20 list. So let's go ahead and start talking about it, shall we? First up here on these sort of honorable mentions, this is Diabolizer with Caledonian Death. Sure that there's going to be crazy glare, so I'll try and show you the album cover as best I can. This really dark album cover, very Cthulhu looking. And that would lead you to believe that there's lots of, Lovecraftian stuff going on here. And there is. Much like early Morbid Angel, that is kind of what it sounds like, how it is themed. This band is from Turkey, released on Everlasting Spew. Really, really, really good stuff. I really enjoyed this record. So check this one out if you like the early Morbid Angel type stuff, Lovecraftian themes, death metal. Diabolizer, Caledonian Death. More early Morbid Angel sounding stuff. This is Hexercyst with Evil Reaping Death. This came out on Memento Mori. They're a band from Miami, Florida. Killer album cover. You will find that is a theme with the albums that I picked for this video. Evil Reaping Death, again, sounds more like early Morbid Angel, early Sepultura, Sarcophago, really kind of bestial sounding death metal. Really ferocious. They include a cover of a previous band that they were in called Devastator. 9 tracks, doesn't let up, ever. Really awesome stuff. Hexercyst, Evil Reaping Death, Memento Mori Records. Here's one that I didn't really see on any year-end lists, but I felt like it was, head and shoulders above anything else in this style that I heard this year. And that is AntiDiluvian, The Divine Punishment. This has members of Revenge. It's a band from Canada. It's not just black metal. It's nightmare music is what I would refer to it as. It's tribal, it's psychedelic, it's unhinged, it's spastic. It says here on the hype sticker for fans of Profanatica, Sarcophago, Mystifier, and I think that that's selling it short. I think that this is something that's really unique, and if you want to kind of listen to something that's going to take you on a journey, not just something to play in the background. Drop some acid, turn off the lights, and throw this one on, and you may never come back. It's nightmare music. AntiDiluvian, Divine Punishment, released on Nuclear War Now Productions. Here we have Galvanizer with The Prying Sight of Imperception. Young band. These are young guys from Finland. Death grind is what I would call this, but on this one here, they even add like a little bit of melody, I would say. So it's not just pulverizing, harsh, grinding death metal. There's a lot more going on this record than in their previous efforts. And again, I love the album artwork on this one. Very reminiscent of H.R. Giger and stuff that he's done in the past with, say, like Danzig, Celtic Frost. Very reminiscent of that, which drew me to this album. And just great presentation here. Misako Unoho Records. You know, part of what drew me to vinyl and physical formats is the presentation of a record. So I certainly think that has to account for something when I'm making these year-end lists, because I thought that this was one of the finest album covers. I really should know and give some acknowledgement to the artists here. Was not prepared for that. Artwork and layout by Stench Graphics. So there you have it. Galvanizer, prying sight of imperception. Alrighty. The last of the honorable mentions, so to say, Craven Idol, Forked Tongues, Dark Descent Records. Again, look at that phenomenal cover artwork. That painting is just beautiful. There you have the gatefold, band members. Black thrash metal, little bits of heavy metal aspects in there too, I would say. London, England. I think that this is their best work as a band. Their third full-length record now with Forked Tongues. I even went back and listened to their discography. I liked Shackles of Mammon a lot, and I think that this one is just better than that one flat out. So this is a band that is progressing, a band that is honing in on their craft. If you like stuff like Destroyer 666, Absu, Black Thrash Metal, stuff like that, Craven Idol, Forked Tongues, Dark Descent Records. So let's get into some albums. We got 5 here that did make my top 20 list. I don't really care about what ranking they were. The fact that they made the list is good enough on its own. Atribulis, that's how you pronounce that name. Apex Apian, Canadian band. This record I felt was really unlike most of what I heard coming out of the year 2021. There's elements of all the old school death metal bands that I like Gorguts and Suffocation and Cannibal Corpse. I find elements of those bands on this record. It's technical, it's brutal, it's atmospheric at times, and it just does such a good job of combining so many different elements that I personally enjoy into one carefully crafted record. And it just makes for a very refreshing listening experience when it comes to new bands and new albums that came out in the year 2021. And I feel like when 20 Buck Spin announced, their fall releases, the big ones were Worm and Dream Unending, which I'll be getting into in a moment. And then this one came out kind of sandwiched in between those two, or alongside those two. And I feel like Worm and Dream Unending got a lot of mention, and this one might have been a little bit of a victim of the time that it came out, just because there was so much hype surrounding some other bands. But hey, sometimes that happens. But I'm here to tell you that this one is just as good, worthy of being listened to over and over. Atribulis, Apex Sapien. Here is Rothadas. Not gonna try and pronounce this album title. Kopar Hunt is the best I'll do there. If you can see that, I'll take it out of the plastic sleeve here. Misako Unoho Records put this one out. This was a Death Doom album from Hungary. And Death Doom seemed to be all the rage in 2021. It seemed like it was a very popular subgenre of death metal for both fans and bands alike. However, this one I thought was pretty, again, to use this phrase again, head and shoulders above a lot of what else came out. If you like bands like Spectral Voice, Disembowelment, this is just absolutely punishing death doom of the highest order. Didn't see too many people talking about this Rothadas record. So that's, you know, again, why I like to do these videos, because I like to talk about bands that maybe aren't getting as much recognition, so I can give them some shine, some love. Rotadas, Kopar Hunt. Here we have Snet with Mokvane v Okvech. This is a band from the Czech Republic, which is where, if you were to try go down my lineage, my ancestors originate from Czechoslovakia. So this is a band that I was eager to check out when I found out where they were from, and it just exceeded all expectations. Blood Harvest put out the vinyl for this. Head Split put out the tape. I forget who put out the CD version. I think that was Blood Harvest as well. But just sickening, gross death metal stuff that, like, Undergang, I feel, has really made popular in the past few years. This is very much in that same vein. It's so sick, so sick. I absolutely love this record. Definitely one of my most played for 2021. I believe it's all in Czech. There's the song titles and the album title, obviously. Even the band name, Snet, I believe means, escapes my memory right now. I don't speak Czech, sorry, even though that's where my heritage originates. But Snet, Mokvane v Okvech. Check that one out. Okay, now we get to the final two records here, and these were my number 2 and my number 1 albums of the year, almost virtually a tie. Dream Unending and Worm. Again, saw these on a ton of year-end lists, so I'm not reinventing the wheel here or showing you something crazy that nobody saw this year. This is stuff that was popular in the underground, and for good reason. Worm with Forever Glade, Floridian Funeral Doom is what Phantom Slaughter has kind of labeled Worm, but I think that's, again, selling this band and their sound a little bit short. There's elements of doom metal, black metal, death metal, even little traces of ambient. There's so much influence from bands like Unholy, Anathema, Paradise Lost, just tons of doom metal and funeral doom. Just absolutely an incredible album. I put Gloomlord at my number 1 album of the year. Last year, this one could have very easily been number 1 this year. Came in at number 2 if you want to get technical, but again, I really don't think that the rankings matter. Is this album necessarily better than number 1? No, it's all subjective. It's all for fun, and again, I really don't feel like I need to expand on this one too much, because you've probably already heard it. So Worm, Forever Glade, killing the game, killing it. And then Dream Unending with Tide Turns Eternal. Wore the shirt for a reason for this video. This was an album that, just because of kind of the time that it came out and where I was at in my own personal life, it was an album that when I got it, I would come home from work and I would just light a candle, turn off all the lights, put this album on full blast, and just kind of lose myself in this music, in this album. And that did so much for me. It really is kind of a statement to not only just the quality of the music, but just the music in general, that it can do so much on an emotional level. I think that this album really transcends just calling it like a death doom record. To me, it's kind of genre transcendent, which I don't think is hyperbole. I really think that this album is incredible and worthy of the absolute highest praise, which is why I'm here giving it. If you like bands like Anathema, Paradise Lost, I know I was talking about those bands with Worm, but it seems like the Peaceville 3 again was kind of back in vogue this year. Just a stunning album, front to back. Really, really, really awesome. Dream Unending, 20 bucks spin. Killed it this year, absolutely killed it. My label of the year. So there you have it. There's 10 records that I thought were worthy of me sitting here babbling on about the best of 2021, if you will. So as always, thanks for tuning in, like and watch and subscribe and all that cool stuff. And until the next time, take care.